This is a cave in Iran, and our anthropologists went in to excavate it to see what kind of remains were inside the cave, and they chased out a bunch of Bedouins that were living in tents because they wanted to excavate it. So they chased the Bedouins out. They rolled up their tents and left, and they began excavating. And what they discovered is this cave had been inhabited by Neanderthal. That's the next level we're going to be looking at, Neanderthal, about 100,000 years ago or so. And they uncovered a tent post in the ground where they had set up their tents inside the cave. So that's kind of weird, isn't it? You chase out the Bedouins in the 20th century, and you dig down and you find tent posts. So life hasn't changed much in that cave over the last 100,000 years. But it's during this time that the time of the Neanderthal that you began to find men living in caves for the first time in large numbers. And so this concept of the caveman really doesn't apply before the Neanderthal. Neanderthal is the first really caveman. And what do you think caused that transition? Began living in caves. I think I've already given you the answer if you remember. Why did men begin to live in caves during this time?
Protection against animals?
Well, there's animals in the caves, right? Well, or animals like to live in caves, so caves can be very dangerous.
Climate change?
Well, I guess if you get really hot and you want to be outside the cave, it's hot inside the cave. Well, actually, caves are pretty cool. No, it wasn't climate change.
People had weapons so they can take out the animals?
Yeah. I think Neanderthal had very primitive weapons, probably sharpened sticks of different kinds. Maybe that's it. I'm not sure if I'd want to go up against a 12-foot cave bear with a sharp stick, but they may have been braver than me.
Protection?
What kind of protection? They must have had some kind of protection. Yeah, but the enemies are probably in the cave. In other words, if do a thought experiment. I take all of your laptops away, all your cell phones, and I take you out in the savannah and just let you out and live for a year or two, and I'll come back a couple of years and we'll see how you did. Right? So here you are out on the savannah. It starts to rain. You're getting wet. What are you looking for, guys?
Shelter.
Shelter. You see, so caves are very important. That's like home. And so you see this nice cave on the horizon, and you walk toward it, and when you get there, you hear this growling inside and the crunching of bones, because there's a giant 12-foot cave bear living in the cave. So guess what? Chances are you're not going to be living in the cave until something happens.
Fire.
Fire. That's right. Prometheus stole fire from the gods and gave it to man. And the reason, because man did not have claws and teeth and fangs and could run fast. He was helpless against the animals. So Prometheus stole fire from the gods and gave it to man so he could defend himself, because animals are afraid of fire. And so according to anthropologists, is when man domesticated fire is when he began living in the caves.